Exploring the odd and disturbing Roblox Iceberg? Let's go. ISIS incident. This one could be referring to a 14-year-old in Singapore that basically just fell in love with ISIS. He would spend 9 hours a day on pro-ISIS websites. He would pledge allegiance to them and even try to get others to join. He even made multiple games in Roblox where he basically roleplayed as an ISIS member. He eventually planned to fly out and join ISIS, but the 5-0 got to him first, and they ended up limiting his movements and internet usage, but nothing else too major.
Hey kid, make sure to like and subscribe.
Jacob XX Dual clones. Jacob XX Dual was a Roblox developer. In the early days of Roblox, they allowed you to add spaces to names. So naturally, people took advantage of this and cloned the Jacob XX Duals with spaces to make it look like the original, but with hidden spaces. Of course, people used this to try and scam and other nefarious things, but eventually this would all come to an end once Roblox stopped allowing people to put spaces in names. And a lot of people say that this whole incident was the reason for that. Harambe Spam 2016. Everyone should remember Harambe. May he rest in peace. He's the reason that this timeline is off course. And I mean like the real world timeline. I think that was the pivotal moment that we went askew. But back in 2016, when he was killed and became a meme, players flooded Roblox with him. They would spam chat with "Dicks out for Harambe," "Rip Harambe," and even blasted loud audio in very crowded servers. Most people joined in on the jokes and the meme, but there were others who were not too happy with it. Especially with the whole, "Dicks out for Harambe," considering it's a kid's game. Political extremism. No matter where you are on the political sphere, you can bet that you'll find the extreme version of it on Roblox. You got the far right, far left, one's purely for anti-Semitism, Muslim extremist, whatever it is, Roblox has it. Now, many of these are harmless and just people pretending, or LARPing I should say. But there are some that take things way more serious. They even go so far as to routinely dox people they say that are against them, and some are even known to make real world threats. Roblox is often used to get new recruits and start the brainwashing until they move their activities to a different site or application. There are a couple good videos by Root Media on this if you're interested in diving even deeper. He's got a lot of them and I can't squish like hours of content into a short segment in an iceberg. Got milk. Roblox and copyright go together as well as Roblox and children. Not well at all. In 2007, a visor was made in the marketplace that just said "Got milk" on it. But only about a month or two later, it was taken down and changed to say Roblox instead. It's thought that the people who owned the Got Milk trademark may have told Roblox to fuck off and take it down, considering they have had a past of aggressively going after anyone they thought was infringing on their copyright. In 2009, it would be limited on the marketplace, meaning exactly what you think. No new ones are being made, but if you had one, you could still do whatever you want with it. They can sell for a pretty decent amount, like over $100 or $200, since there's only so many of them left. So if you're an OG Roblox player, maybe you got a couple $100 just sitting in a Got Milk hat. Crosswoods. This is a series of games and exploits all designed to get you banned. If you were to join one of these malicious games, what people refer to as crosswoods, your account would basically be hijacked, and you would end up spamming chat with naughty big boy words until you got banned. And even to this day, it's still an actual problem in Roblox, with people finding new ways to get around preventative measures. Instead of using their elite hacking abilities for good, they use it to get kids' Roblox accounts banned. Nintendo copyright. If there's just one company you don't want to piss off, it's Nintendo. I mean, for the longest time, they didn't even allow you to make Let's Plays of their games on YouTube. Well, Roblox did not get this memo. There were plenty of Nintendo-based games being made, and this was all until 2016, when a developer named Taymaster would email Nintendo this: "To whom this may concern, Roblox is a platform for games that anyone can create. Recently, it has been flooded with Pokemon-related games made by fans to make money. Here are a few examples from the most popular section. Some of these games are earning 10,000 monthly. Roblox Corp will do nothing until you contact them." With this, he linked some games that were generally really liked by everyone. After this, Nintendo games such as Pokemon or even Mario would start to be taken down one at a time, until eventually, majority of them were just gone, and the names Pokemon and Mario would be censored from any game name or username. Now, despite Roblox actively trying to get rid of all Nintendo games, there are still plenty of copies and ways to get around this. One of the more common ways that I see is that people join a specific Discord for whatever game they want to play. And once the game gets taken down, it simply just gets re-uploaded with the link going out on Discord, and it also keeping all of your save data. So whenever it comes back, it's like it never left. Awesome Strader. This one is kind of funny, but also sad at the same time. Back in 2015, Awesome Strader was the username of a kid who ended up getting his conversation with his mom leaked. What was that convo about, you may ask? He got busted watching adult content while on a call with other people. I guess he just muted his mic.
It's a virus!
Listen, Harris, and I'm sorry, but I need I have to have your dad talk to you about this because Mom's not very good about it.
No, Mom!
Listen.
Mom, I was searching around. I was searching around.
Why are you playing with yourself?
He goes on to try and blame a computer virus that scared him so much his pants fell down.
Jeez.
Mom, I was searching around the internet, and all of a sudden, I was downloading this thing, and I got a computer virus.
I want to see it. Show me what you were downloading.
I randomly, I deleted the virus. Mom, you don't get it at all.
Don't blame your ding dong.
I didn't. My pants slipped. I had a computer virus, and I got scared that I had the virus. And when I was getting out of my chair, my pants were slipping, and I was pulling them up and getting back on the chair.
There are plenty of clips of him and his mom going back and forth, and it definitely seems like these two did not have a good or healthy relationship whatsoever.
Nathan, I said to shut it off. Why don't you listen to me?
Why do you act like Mrs. President?
I said to get off. I'm getting so sick of this every night.
Well, get on my face and I'll shut it off. Gee.
Well, geez, I say it nicely. Nathan, please. How many times have I called you? Every single night.
How's that nice of you?
When the original virus clip was uploaded, Awesome Strader was bullied relentlessly on the Roblox forums. Maybe somewhat deserved, maybe not. And since then, I'm not sure what really happened to him. I've seen some theories, but nothing I can confirm. All I know is it was all that goddamn virus's fault. Coral creepy shotgun tweet. Coral was a Minecraft and Roblox YouTuber that was also part of a group known as the Pals. And things were all going peachy until 2019, when he basically ruined his whole career with a series of tweets. It all started when he got into an argument with a fan. He first tweeted, "Man, you can really tell most YouTubers never got a higher education," apparently alluding to some other drama. To which the fan replied, "Wait, so you're saying that because someone has an opinion that you don't like doesn't have a higher education? You don't need an education to have an opinion." And they would continue to have this little back and forth until she ended up saying, "This is why I left the Pals fandom. Too much shade, and now one of the Pals members making not needed drama over YouTube ads." Now, coming from a D-list YouTuber, I know, not trying to brag, You should have just left it at that, but he continued on. He ended up replying with, "You probably should have left the Pals fandom because you are a 17-year-old consuming content made for 6 to 12-year-olds." They replied with, "You probably didn't see the tweet, but I spent over $100 on my senior school jersey to have the Pals written on the back of it. Honestly, I'm shaking my head." And his next reply would seal his fate. He replied with, "Cringe." Coral immediately got kicked out of the Pals and went offline for a couple months. He would end up returning with these tweets of him holding a shotgun with no real explanation. And of course, many thought the worst of this, whether he's gonna take it on himself or use it against other people. No one was exactly sure. These tweets would eventually get taken down, and everything was radio silence until 2024, when he finally tweeted out a full apology. Camel slaughter. This was a video that circulated on Roblox forums and certain games that allowed you to queue up videos. The video was called camelslaughter.mp4. It's exactly what you think it is. It's a camel being killed. Now, I'm not going to show you the video for obvious reasons, and plus I'm not sure if this is the exact one that was being spammed, but I mean, how many videos on YouTube are there of camels being slaughtered? So I'm pretty sure this is it. Cinemark vs. Roblox. In 2016, Cinemark, the movie theater people, decided that they had had enough of Roblox and their copyright infringement. Many games have been created on Roblox remaking Cinemark theaters. Some of these involved recreating mass shootings because it's the internet. Cinemark had this to say: "By using the marks in connection with virtual mass shootings in connection with Cinemark's movie theaters, defendants knowingly and/or recklessly make false statements that disparage Cinemark's good name, business reputation, services, products, and goods. Defendants did so with the intent to cause, and actually caused, pecuniary loss to the Cinemark in violation of the laws of Texas. Defendants knowingly and/or recklessly create virtual playgrounds, workshops, where children can purchase and use virtual guns to cause mass shootings at virtual movie theaters, under the marks, creating the false statement that Cinemark movie theaters are unsafe." Roblox would go on to delete any games that involved this, and the two would ultimately settle out of court. Wheel of Fortune. Many moons ago, Roblox did an official livestream where they played a Wheel of Fortune game. In it, a user named Americal56 picked a not family-friendly phrase, and as they played the Wheel of Fortune game on stream live, the phrase was discovered, and thus we get this legendary clip.
Oh, do we need audio for this? Do you need to be able to hear this?
No, I can read it.
Play? Oh, there's subtitles.
Yeah.
Phrase ends in an exclamation mark.
Oh.
Somebody claims to know it already. That is impossible.
Insane. Someone is way better at this than me.
Oh, man, come on.
Okay, leave game, leave game.
Thank you.
Leave
You guys are making it really rough.
Okay. Well.
He spelled out a swear word.
Okay, guys, that was not cool.
Come on, guys.
I
I just
remember
knew
that.
that was gonna happen when he hit the button.
Was that a miracle or was that someone else? Because I remember his username. I will go ban him after this.
Oh, you're gonna get banned.
Yeah.
You are gonna get banned.
You're gonna get it.
Now, Americal56 would go on to be banned, but his legend lives on. Jared Pogi 123 Kaba. This was a Roblox user that would go on to the forums and spam it with links. And the links led to CP. Now the name kind of makes sense. Maybe it's a reference to Jared from Subway. Maybe it was Jared from Subway. But it also seemed like the account was based in the Philippines, and I don't think Jared from Subway is in the Philippines. He's too busy taking dicks in prison. But the reason people seem to think it was based in the Philippines is because Pogi means handsome in Filipino. And Kaba, I've also seen means handsome, and it also means like nervousness. Shout out to Google Translate. And I've seen people say that the full name is something like Jared Handsome 123 are you? Basically, I guess saying are you handsome or something. I don't speak it, so I don't know. But the general consensus is that some kid got his account hacked and some mentally deranged person started posting CP on the forums, on his account. Or at least that's one of the numerous theories. It could have just been some jabroni just decided one day, hey, I'm just gonna start flooding Roblox with CP. Michael Lyers 8. This was another Roblox forum user. And on the Roblox forums, they posted the location of a high school in Texas with the date 4/2017. That date is kind of significant because not only was it Hitler's birthday and Weed Day, but it was also the day of the Columbine massacre. He would go on to post pictures of a rifle and pistol before the entire thread was nuked, but not before people reported it to the FBI. Michael tried to claim it was all a joke, but I'm not sure how well that'll hold up in court if anything happened to this. He probably got a nice little visit from Uncle Sam. Carson 3003. So I've seen this entry on a couple icebergs, and I've seen a couple explanations for it online. The first is that it was just Call Me Carson's Roblox account, which isn't bad if true, but I doubt it. From some of the videos I saw of his account name was named something entirely different. Depending on what year of video you're watching of his, he had a different account name, and none of them, well, as far as I could tell, were Carson 3003. The other explanation that I saw is that it was a forum user that talked about accidentally watching CP in great detail. The thread would go on to be very quickly taken down. You're going to start to notice a theme with CP and Roblox a lot in this video. "2014 Twitch incident." Back in 2014, Roblox did a live stream event on Twitch, and as a segment was coming to an end, the host turned off the camera, but not their mics. They ended up streaming themselves using some adult no-no words, which, I mean, who cares? But they were also talking some major smack about Roblox.
What kind of decorations do you guys want in here? The budget's really small, but
I didn't even know there was a
our
budget
decoration
for it.
needs are really small. We were just gonna go to Walgreens and get some like dumb.
yeah, there was like a spider in there that we like.
Yeah, we want the
one.
spider.
What's
Yeah,
a small
Can we get the
budget?
spider?
I think so. That's
Okay.
in the budget.
I think just the spider
What's a
will
small
probably be
budget?
good.
Like $40.
I mean, we just spent
$40
like
we could get a.
spent like $150 on pizza upstairs.
Yeah. No.
You only have $40 to decorate this room.
We're
It
trying to
won't
get a
take
new
you long
camera.
to realize that Roblox doesn't give a fuck
Yeah.
about our department.
Like Dave comes upstairs, we're all just
No, you
eating
guys
pizza.
just
And you all
Yeah.
have $100.
No, we got told we couldn't have a new camera. We're like, hey, we need like
We've
two
been trying to
cameras
get a new
really
camera
big.
for an
And they're like,
absurd
we're like,
amount
how
of
much is
time.
it? We're like, oh, it'll be like about $300. And they're like, no. And the next
Who
week
shut
they're
you
like,
down?
oh, Brad. He's just like, he's like, I don't know. Like maybe I'll ask.
No, Brad's always like, if you could just put together a list and
Yeah, and he
Oh,
like
yeah.
makes us like write it all out, but then nothing
Because
happens.
Adam is-
But then like next
Adam
week they're
is the one
like
who
party
took care of
bus.
everything.
Some people ended up getting fired because of this and even got their accounts banned on Roblox. That's extra level pettiness. Roblox also tried to sweep this all under the rug by attempting to take down any and all re-uploads of it. The funny part is though, it seems majority of the community now looks back on this and sees it as a warning of what was to come on Roblox. Roblox toy based off a not safe for work character. This is talking about the Cheshi figure that Roblox sold a couple years ago. The character came from a user-created game called Astral Hearts. The developers based her design on a cat girl from the Monster Girl Encyclopedia, which I just so happen to have right here. The character that this Roblox figure was based off of was called a Cheshire Cat. They are known to be lustful and mean. These feline monsters have the power to appear and disappear at will. A Cheshire Cat can, and often does, show herself suddenly whenever she may be in Wonderland, coming and going without warning. Visitors may find that, before they know it, a Cheshire Cat has pressed her body into their backs, creeping her hands and tongue about, while whispering dirty words stickily into their ears. And I'm not gonna lie, out of everything that's in this book, and this is volume 2 by the way, this is definitely one of the more tame entries in this entire thing. Now, Roblox would go on to make a physical figure of this toy, but once people figured out that a kids game, made a toy based off a cat girl, they discontinued it, and the developers of Astral Hearts very quickly scrubbed their wiki from any mentions of this holy book. Lisa Files. The Lisa Files is an over 80-page document, all exposing one person, Lisa Gaming, who I'm pretty sure was a dude, and also his group of degenerates. The document had a disclaimer of things included, which were not limited to CP, doxing, gore, essay, and child essay. Jesus Christ, who are these people? Fucking Jeffrey Epstein? Now, the original Google document is no longer available, but from many people's coverage of it, there seemed to be a lot of CP and adult content being shared in their Discord, which was full of minors. And no, not the coal kind, the underage kind. This group would also threaten and dox anyone that came out against them. This is all bad, but it does seem like maybe almost everyone involved, even the person behind Lisa Gaming, was a minor. Not that it makes it much better, but I guess it's better to have dumb kids being dumb than getting preyed upon by an adult. But I'm not 100% sure that everyone was a minor. I've just seen some messages that imply that majority of these people were underage. Now, there is actually a surprisingly large amount of people who want Lisa Gaming to return. They say the channel was the GOAT of rage baiting at the time, and apparently need them now more than ever. Mr. Obvious. Mr. Obvious was a Roblox animator back in the 2010s. Apparently, he was so good, he won a Blocky Award. Yeah, I don't fucking know, whatever the fuck that means. He would be on top of the world until 2017, when he got busted for talking very inappropriately to a 15-year-old girl on Discord. Mr. Obvious's age wasn't known from what I can tell, but it seemed like he was possibly in his early 20s. He would go on to talk to many underage girls, and even send them videos of himself moaning and touching himself. Now I can't, of course, play the video, but since I had to listen to the audio, so do you.
So I want you to know that the bottom part here is really sensitive, and the head is the most sensitive. My words low. But yeah, just do this, and it's super freaking delicious and hot.
When these girls eventually had enough of this loser, he would go on to threaten and blackmail them. Finally, things would all come to light when a YouTuber, Ruben Sim, exposed him with receipts. Mr. Obvious would go on to private everything. His Roblox account would eventually get terminated, but only a couple years ago. Roblox 303033. This one is kind of sad and makes me hate the internet a little bit. Back in 2015, a 9-year-old girl would post a link to her YouTube channel, The Aubrey and Brianna Show, on the Roblox forums. She would immediately get attacked for this, and they were brutal. This went on for 30 minutes, when the little girl would eventually post that she didn't want to live anymore. And many in the threads were actually happy. This got her the nickname Suicide Girl. Again, this is a 9-year-old child. They haven't even hit double digits yet. The threads would go on to be deleted, but not before her IP got leaked because fuck them kids, I guess. And some of the things these people said about a 9-year-old really makes you wonder how far as a species that we've truly come. The answer is not very far. Roblox Heat. This is one of those search terms that you can look up to unlock an even weirder side of the internet. Roblox Heat is when people make spicy videos, definitely aimed at children, using Roblox avatars. Usually there seems to be a dash of furry in there somewhere, and of course, you know the usual. If I had to watch it, so do you. Guys, I'm starting to think Roblox might be full of degenerates. US 107-287-01B1. This is a patent that Roblox filed back in 2017. and was approved in 2020. Although I don't think this has been implemented into Roblox, but if it was, it would allow users to more easily friend each other the closer they are in real life. Roblox would use Wi-Fi, GPS, or Bluetooth to get your location, and if someone was near, a prompt would appear to be able to friend them instantly. Knowing what you've seen in this iceberg and what you're about to see, this is a terrible idea and would only make things infinitely easier for predators. Click this. This is talking about an alleged old forum post where people would post links and say, click this, and it would just take them to CP. Bunny incident. Take a wild guess where we're heading for this one. That's right, the Roblox forums. Many moons ago, on the off-topic forums, a user by the name Bunny Wumpkins would start stripping in a chat room. I couldn't find anything to say how old she was, but from the stuff that happens later, I'm assuming underage. As she was doing this, she would be made fun of by others in the chat room. This led Bunny Wumpkins to start self-harming herself live on camera. People would later go on to pretend to have been visited by the FBI because of this incident, but it turns out that that was fake. No one was actually visited by the FBI that we know of. That's the reason I assume she was underage, because they made the whole FBI hoax. Now, nothing ever really came from this that I know of. Ultimately, it seems to have just been swept under the rug and forgotten by a majority of people. Club Iris. Club Iris was classified as a social hangout and club game, but it was basically made to be like a strip club or like a regular club for adults, but in a children's game. That's gonna turn out well. On the surface, it seems somewhat okay. A place for people to go and listen to music and hang out. But actually going to it was a different story. People would make their characters have very little or revealing clothes, constantly emoting in a specific way to imply things are happening, adult things, and basically pretending that they're at a real adult club. Now the worst part is the VIP rooms, and even hotel rooms that you could buy. Do I even need to say what goes on in there? Now listen. I remember being a dumb, edgy kid and what it was like at that point in your life. And if Roblox was 100% just kids, this wouldn't be as bad because it's a part of life. Sometimes you gotta do stupid shit when you're young, so that way you can look back on it and cringe when you're older. But the fact that there could be adults in there really just sours the whole thing. Club Iris would be shut down once in 2020 and again in 2025. It's still up as of today, but it's nowhere near as popular for PDF players, as it once was. It appears they've moved on to other venues. Fell Sands. This was one of the numerous PDF files that Schlep exposed. Schlep is a very famous YouTuber, and the man who got sued by Roblox for exposing their PDF files. Fell Sands was one of the men he caught with the help of Alex Rosen. This PDF was 22 years old and talking to someone he thought was 14. He would go on to message the decoy 14-year-old very adult images. They would go on to bait this PDF file even more, until they got him in a Roblox game and literally recreated the whole Chris Hansen segment, but in Roblox.
I'll always think I suck at stuff.
And is that so?
Yeah.
You know, it's fine to suck sometimes. When the morphs just like turn on randomly.
Yeah. Hey, you want to go to the bedroom?
Oh, alright.
You go first.
Hey, you're not in any trouble, nothing like that, but I really want to like talk to you about like what you tried doing here. How old did this account say it was to you? And how old are you?
22.
You know what you did was like a crime, right?
Yeah, I get you.
After this, they kind of pretended to be his friend, and they got him to open up about everything. and they were even able to somehow convince him to meet Alex Rosen in real life.
Long story short, it ended up leading me to this encounter with and when that happened, essentially, I kind of took it too far and I ended up just not thinking. You know what I mean?
So them like dudes or something like that?
Yeah.
Where during their discussion, Alex got him to admit to having CP on his phone.
So, yeah. So this person, while they have their, I assume that they're doing something sketchy. Now with me, they were just like trading images and were of, they were sending were of age, right? But I'm assuming that they also do sketchy stuff as well.
Okay.
Because that like, yeah,
thing is
pizza. Yeah.
This, thankfully, would eventually lead to his arrest. 10-year-old kidnapped. Which one do I pick for this? There are literally so many. I'm gonna go with this one. In 2025, this dude right here allegedly was talking to a 10-year-old on Roblox and Discord. And in case you're wondering, he was not 10 years old himself. He was 27. He and the girl would talk and exchange information, which eventually led to him driving and picking her up. This man drove 250 miles. Yeah, all while he claims he thought she was 18.
27-year-old Matthew Naval says he was misled, stating a 10-year-old girl he met in a 17 and older voice chat room on Roblox told him she was 18.
They asked me if I wanted to, like, be more than friends. I was a little bit, like, hesitant because of, like, age or whatnot, but I was pretty much encouraged.
So when did you discover she was 10 years old?
Ooh. I would say, because I'm sorry, it like sickens me every time I hear that age. I think when I was questioned.
The family of the girl would go on to file lawsuits against Roblox and Discord, claiming recklessly and deceptively operating businesses in a way that caused the grooming and kidnapping. It's kind of funny. Well, it's not, but it's funny because this douchebag's excuse for all of this in court was that he was autistic.
Reasserting their belief that Naval may be on the autism spectrum, writing, Mr. Naval attended special needs classes throughout his life.
Which is a terrible excuse. I know many autistic people. They're all pretty freaking normal. Juke Files. Juke Files are a reference to Juker. Juker was a model and upstanding citizen. I'm kidding. He was a D-list influencer in Roblox and furry communities, and got caught doing a wee bit of diddling. Here is what his Twitter looked like, so you know what we're dealing with. He ended up getting exposed by a YouTuber called Jax, and got caught talking inappropriately to minors and sending them not safe for work images, and even involved in some very creepy and disturbing roleplay. I fucking hate this. He also sent videos of himself doing adult things, with props he uses in his streams in the background. He would eventually go on a 10-hour drive to one of his victims' houses. And yeah. He would go on to delete almost all of his social media. And it looks like he ended up going to prison, and possibly one of his victims took their own life. I couldn't find any proof on that second part, but that's just the word on the internet. Howard Graham. If a grown man traveling hundreds of miles to meet a child he met on Roblox happens once, then we can write it off as a freak accident. But when it starts to be a recurring thing, maybe, just maybe, we should do something about it. Howard was a 33-year-old Georgian man. He met a 13-year-old girl on Roblox. The two would develop a relationship and take the conversation elsewhere. He was able to convince her to leave her home with him. He would drive almost 1,000 miles to get her and bring her all the way back to his house. He would tell his roommate that she was his stepdaughter, until the girl told the roommate what the real situation was, and that she just wanted to go home. The girl would then get in contact with her parents and told them to pick her up at a Dollar General. While that was happening, the roommate was confronting Howard. Howard then dropped the girl off at the Dollar General and then would later be arrested at his work at IHOP. He would go on to get charged with kidnapping, interference with custody, SA, and sex trafficking charges. I have a feeling this might not be the last time something like this happens on this iceberg. Call it a hunch. Builder Girl 656. This was a Roblox PDF from back in the early 2010s. I could only find a little information about this person, and all of it's just horrible. The first thing I found was claiming that it was a girl who would trade images of herself, or possibly of other people, for Robux. I found this 13-year-old video called Builder Girl 656 lightning, yeah, it literally says lightning, her lips. So maybe this was the actual Builder Girl? I'm not sure. There's also another old video where a 10-year-old was in a game with Builder Girl 656. And they were asking very personal questions to a 10-year-old and trying to get them to expose themselves on camera. There really isn't too much info that's still around that I could find, but it does seem like at some point the police were notified, and Builder Girl's Roblox account was eventually banned 7 to 8 years after the video with the 10-year-old came out, which happened to be around the time when the YouTuber Ruben Sim uploaded a video that is no longer available. But in that video, apparently he mentioned Builder Girl 656. If you happen to know anything more about this, please let me know down below in the comments. Couldn't really find too much. Tara Sykes. Tara Sykes was a 36-year-old woman who was talking to a 10-year-old on Roblox. And no pedo stuff, but this person is still an absolute lunatic. They would talk with this kid on Roblox and instruct them on ways to kill a 2-month-old baby. They tried to get the child to drown it, burn it with boiling water, and were finally able to convince the child to drop the baby on the floor. This mental midget of an adult also tried to get the child to cut the throats of the adults in the house with a knife, then set the house on fire by dousing bed sheets with aerosol spray and setting it on fire. And the kid actually did this. Well, not the killing part, the house fire part. The child doused the sheets but was unable to start the fire. Now naturally, she was arrested, and Roblox did have a response. They told police they looked at the activity between the two users, and that while the two did communicate on Roblox, the conversations were in policy and did not contain the alleged instructions for violence. Clinton McElroy. Alright, let's play a game. I'm gonna give you a sentence, and you tell me when it gets weird, okay? Clinton McElroy was a 48-year-old man from Kansas that made friends with an 8-year-old girl on Roblox. Alright, so when did that get weird? Oh, the whole thing? Yeah, that's what I thought. Now, this sad excuse for a human being began playing and talking to this girl on Roblox. The little girl told her mom she was playing with her friend called John. John allegedly persuaded the girl to send him videos of her in exchange for Robux. Police say they found more than 20 videos of this 8-year-old girl in various states of undress. God fucking damn it. Sad part is, this worthless clump of cells was also arrested for something similar in 2017 and was already a registered sex offender. Unlike me, who was a sex defender. I ain't losing my virginity anytime soon because I don't lose. But this useless human being ended up getting charged with sexual exploitation of a child and aggravated internet trading in CP. He ended up being given a $1 million cash bond, which is about time something like that happens. Usually I feel like when I read these stories, it's always like, oh, they were given a $50,000, like something that's moderately achievable, but $1 million, there's no way this useless human has $1 million. Child suicides. Roblox isn't just known for pedos. Apparently, there are a lot of suicides related to it as well. Really, just such a good family-friendly brand. One of the more recent incidents was in 2024, when a 13-year-old girl would take her own life. Now, you would think maybe she was getting bullied on Roblox, but that wasn't it. It was actually an extremist group called TCC, or True Crime Community. Now, the larger group is mainly composed of people into true crime, but the smaller, more extreme part was obsessed with mass murderers and school shooters. and other people unfit for society. So that's who we're dealing with. This 13-year-old girl met members of this group on Roblox and followed them to Discord. She ended up getting so sucked into this group, she had a school journal where she wrote her first name and changed her last name to Klebold. You know, the same name as Dylan Klebold, one of the mass shooters of Columbine. In the journal, she wrote natural selection hundreds of times, which is what the other Columbine shooter had on his shirt. She also had written a countdown to her death date. According to her mom, this all really went downhill during the COVID lockdowns, which makes sense. You can't go out and do anything, so you get stuck being online all day. You're gonna fall down some pretty dark rabbit holes when you're that young. After her daughter's unfortunate passing, her mother would go on to sue Roblox, and multiple bills would be introduced, but nothing major ever came from it. Roblox would eventually go on to introduce comprehensive safety reforms, like AI-powered facial age estimation technology to access the chat function. But I saw someone say their 9-year-old could beat it with like a hat and a fake mustache, so good job, Roblox. Spawnism. Now we have literal cults in Roblox run by pedophiles. We already have enough of that in government, we don't need it in games, god damn it. What started off as a harmless game called Forsaken and a cult that worships Spawn, or the tile that you spawn on when you die. Kinda clever to be honest, but like with all things, all it takes is a very shitty minority to invade and turn it into a quote-unquote sextortion network. From what I could tell, there is one giant cult and like a couple branches led by different people, and they all find children and lure them into the cult and manipulate them into believing it. They believed that performing certain actions would grant them the ability to respawn, and they used the Roblox spawn point as a symbolic place of ritual and rebirth. There were many different branches, but in general, these people would coerce children into performing harmful acts using the excuse it's for religious reasons. They would have these kids engage in adult activities called rituals and also self-harm, usually by cutting the Roblox spawn location decal into their skin. This got to be such a problem that dedicated groups started popping up with the help of law enforcement and online safety organizations to try to take down Spawnism discords. Yeah, this cult became such a problem, people had to start forming their own cults to take them down. Now it does appear that some people have been arrested with connection to the cult, and that the feds are still actively looking into it. Nazi sex parties. We're in the final layer, boys. You better buckle up because it only gets worse from here. In the early 2020s, the BBC did an investigation into Roblox and found that there were Nazi sex parties. Now, to be fair, it does seem like it only got this name because there was one person at these sex parties in a children's game wearing a Nazi outfit. They would describe it like this: a naked man wearing just a dog collar and a lead is led across the floor by a woman in a bondage outfit. 2 strippers dance next to a bar. A group has gathered around a couple openly having sex, watching and occasionally commenting. One man is wearing a Nazi uniform. I don't know why, but that last part was pretty funny. Just all this other stuff's happening, and then there's somebody in the cuck chair in a Nazi outfit. That's pretty funny. Their investigation would go on to discover Roblox sex games called condos, places where people would go and talk about adult things and perform it virtually. These condos would only be up for about an hour before getting taken down, so you would have to be in the know to get access. Now, this report was a couple years ago, so these whole Nazi sex parties are probably a thing of the past for all these unemployed PDF files. And there's probably an entire new underground thing that they're doing now. Dr. Rofatnik. We're gonna need to just watch Sesame Street or something when I'm done to cleanse my palate. Dr. Rofatnik was a Roblox dev. He was behind Sonic Eclipse Online. Just Sonic and Roblox, but it became very popular, and so did the Doc, as people called him. Due to his edgy personality, he would become loved by kids. Not in a sexual way, yet, but they looked up to him and they thought he was cool. The doc would call the young girls who helped develop Sonic Eclipse Online his sex slaves, and even had a DM leaked where he said, "You're 12. I expect you to be a little slow on the upbringing, but soon I'll corrupt you beyond your wildest dreams. You're the reason I'm going to end up behind bars." Some people would even defend him after this, but Roblox would go on to end his accounts and even reported him. But beforehand, he gave the ownership of Sonic Eclipse Online to a friend, and he claimed that the controversy made him even more money. The doc would go on to then disappear from the internet, until it was learned that he was actually arrested for being a PDF file. But we'll get into that. You would think Roblox would do more to make sure that this pedo that they reported and banned wouldn't be able to brag about making money off of them. Well, they didn't, but Sega sure did. A 22-year-old Japanese player wrote to Sega about Sonic being used by a PDF file on Roblox. And soon afterwards, Sega filed a copyright infringement notice with Roblox, and Sonic Eclipse would be taken down. Now back to the arrest. The doc met with a 15-year-old girl on Roblox and started grooming her. He would buy her gifts and even send her food. This small dick of a man would even pay an Uber driver $1,000 to drive her to his place because he was such a shut-in who had zero confidence and even shared a bed with his mother. Hence why he was always bragging about money and the things he did. For 8 days, this poor girl was sexually assaulted until the doc, or Arnold Castillo, was arrested and would be sentenced to 15 years in prison.
22-year-old Arnold Castillo of New Jersey is facing federal charges. The reason we're covering this story, he was in court today for allegedly ordering an Uber to pick up a girl here in central Indiana and taking her to his home. Court documents say Castillo used social media to communicate with this girl and groom her with gifts. Last May, investigators found that girl at his home in New Jersey. If convicted, Castillo faces up to life in prison.
Now, even the FBI says that the doc was outed 18 months prior to all this. They said, seeing what those children did, as far as compiling all of this and their ability to identify Mr. Castillo, well, they might want to submit some applications to the FBI one day. Instead of waiting for them to join the FBI, you could just stop the pedophiles sooner. Comboy. Comboys are another group of degenerates on Roblox, and really just the internet in general. They dress and act childish in a sexual way. I also found a Reddit thread, and someone described it like this. Comboy is someone who plays online games, typically Roblox, and mains the app Discord. They either partake in or affiliate with people who dox, swat, and extort others. They usually online date and have been well known for age playing since around early 2024, I think. They're also known for getting others, comm girls, to make fan signs, which if you don't know what that is, it's like when you carve names into your skin. It's really dumb. It's so stupid. The girls they associate with usually post with paw socks and stuff like that, and can sometimes be seen posting their self-harm. In 2025, a comboy/girl can usually be spotted on Roblox with the age playing style and similar outfits to the hood style from what I've seen. Sometimes they post Roblox TikToks about e-dating and stuff like that. Now, a lot of what I've seen about this is just cringy Roblox TikToks about being a comboy or girl, but of course it gets worse. These comboys would make friends with young children and dox and blackmail them, or just straight threaten them for CP, money, or really anything. If you remember the Spawnism cult from earlier, a lot of players in that are also crossed over into the comboy territory. This just goes to show you that there seems to be active PDF file rings hidden everywhere in Roblox. Owen Thomas. Another PDF file on Roblox. This UK man's claimed infamy is that he only got jailed for 10 years after recording more than 150 children carrying out adult acts. These children were as young as 9 years old. He would target children on Roblox that he thought were vulnerable, and either pay them in Robux, where in one instance he paid a 10-year-old 400 Robux to perform adult acts while he watched, or he would manipulate them by acting like he won't be their friend anymore. Sometimes he would pretend to be a child himself and use other children's images that he had taken and show them to even younger children. He eventually would get caught, not for what he did online, but because he drove past two 8-year-old boys and asked them to show themselves to him. They said no, and he showed them adult images and drove away. The boys would tell their parents and he would soon be caught. Once caught, he cried like a little baby, saying, "I need help, I know I need help, I can't go to prison, I won't cope in there." The courts would go on to deem him a significant risk of serious harm to the public, but he only got 10 years. 764. 764 is another PDF file group, but much worse. At one point, the FBI sent out a message to parents saying that 764 was the #1 digital threat to kids. Here's how they described it. 764 is a nihilistic, violent, extremist network that operates largely online, targeting vulnerable individuals, especially minors, through manipulation and coercion. Now, this network would go onto kids' games like Roblox to seek out children. They pretty much were just a coordinated version of the other groups that we've talked about. They would use these games to gain the trust of children and befriend them, until eventually turning on them, sometimes with more than one person being involved in the exploitation of a child. The FBI said they operate like this. The networks use extortion and blackmail tactics, such as threatening to swat or dox their victims, if the victims do not comply with the network's demands. The actors can manipulate or coerce victims to produce child sexual abuse material and other videos depicting animal cruelty and self-harm. Self-harm activity can include cutting, stabbing, or fan signing. Members of these networks threaten to share the explicit videos or photos of the victims with the victim's family, friends, and/or post the videos and photos on the internet. The networks control their victims through extreme fear, and many members have an end goal of forcing the victims they extort or coerce to live stream their own suicide for the network's entertainment. All of this just to get what they wanted from a victim who was usually 10 to 17 years old. There have been many arrests related to this group, but one arrest that was made in Florida had found thousands of files of CP, including images tied to 764 victims. 764 has been classified as a terroristic entity and isn't just in the US, it's worldwide. With it really popping up in the public scene last year, I wouldn't really be surprised if we hear more about this in the future. Even more PDFs. While searching this video, I kept coming across more and more PDF files with the same story. Talk to child online, convince them to send adult content, or meet the kid in real life. Here are just some examples that I found of PDF files using Roblox to find kids. June 2021, 18-year-old was indicated for using Roblox to lure and commit sexual offenses against children between the ages of 7 and 12. According to the charges, this guy would contact girls on the game's chat and offer Robux in exchange for CP. July 2021, 23-year-old was arrested for indecent solicitation of a child, violation of sex offender registry, and grooming, after he contacted 12-year-old boy in Texas via Roblox. At the time this guy joined Roblox, he was already a convicted sex offender in Washington State. August 2021, a 61-year-old was caught after posing as a 13-year-old boy on Roblox. He contacted a 12-year-old girl and requested CP of her and her 5-year-old sibling. January 2022, Sarasota County Police released a redacted probable cause affidavit against a 45-year-old on 7 felony charges involving crimes against children, including lewd and lascivious battery of a child. This man would impersonate a teenage girl on Roblox to meet his victims and sent Robux in exchange for CP. July 2022, a 19-year-old was arraigned on 10 counts of child's SA after meeting a 10-year-old on Roblox. January 2023, a federal grand jury in Grand Island, Nebraska, arrested a 26-year-old on charges that he willfully and unlawfully kidnapped a 13-year-old and took the minor across state lines, with the intent to engage in adult activities. The child's father told police his son had been communicating with someone while playing Roblox, and then was invited to talk on a chat room service. Police found this 13-year-old boy and this adult inside a white Toyota Avalon at a convenience store. April of 2023. A 21-year-old met a 14-year-old girl through Roblox and allegedly convinced the girl to share CP. This guy then picked up the girl from school in Ohio, took her to a park, and coerced her to do adult things. At that time, this guy was out on bond for a separate charge involving a minor. Ultimately, the girl was found crying alone in a bathroom of a Kroger. August 20th, 2024, it just keeps going. A 21-year-old Chilean man was arrested at LAX airport on suspicion of contacting a minor for adult things after meeting the 13-year-old girl on Roblox and booking an Airbnb near her home. And let's just double down, another one in August 2024. A 44-year-old Maryland elementary school teacher was charged with SA of a minor, CP, and distribution and possession of CP after soliciting photos of a 9-year-old student. The victim told police that she would chat with this person on Roblox. Police said they found a black bag filled with children's underwear in his office, which would heavily indicate that there was more than one victim. That's not even close to all of it. This is merely a handful. It's obvious that Roblox has a problem with this, and I'm not sure what the answer to stop all this is, other than really monitoring what your child is doing online and trying to educate them of the dangers of it. If you're a child and you're watching this, please don't make these mistakes. Stay safe. If you ever think you are being blackmailed, threatened, or even uncomfortable with someone else, there's no shame in telling anyone. There are plenty of YouTubers out there that expose these degenerates on the internet, and you would just be one of the heroes helping them out. Now, after talking about everything I have today, I think I need to get off the internet, so that's where the video ends. Later.